Okay, so this is part two, um, and there it is. System of a Down, Toxicity, um, American Recordings 2001. Um, this is their sophomore release, um, and probably it probably is the most well-known and popular album, um, because of Chop Suey, Toxicity, and Aerials. Um, this one's actually in pretty good shape. There's the one sticker on the left upper corner. Um, there's a couple creases on the front and reverse in the upper right. A little bit of spine damage right here, and there's some adhesive from a strip of tape, which is probably why the jacket stuck to the protective sleeve that I had it in. Um, and other than that, there's a little bit of some more dings. No splits, no ring wear, no edge wear. So all in all, it's pretty good shape as far as the jacket is concerned. Um, Moving on to the um, actual um, record itself. Um, this is actually pretty cool. It's got a fitted plastic sleeve. Um, I've seen this with a couple of them. Uh, I think it was there's a copy of a No Doubt album that I've got that did this as well, and I think there were some others. So that's actually pretty cool. Um, and so because these fit better, the one thing I do prefer these plastic sleeves, even though you as I mentioned before, you do miss out on lyrics and pictures and whatnot. These protect better, but the one thing I don't like about them is they don't fit. You have to kind of stuff them, and of course, they get crinkled and everything, and then you can't fit them nicely into the jacket. Um, and so I've struggled a little bit with that before, because when it comes to my records, everything has to fit nicely and be pristine. Um, I'm kind of obsessive about that, especially with all my albums like that, but especially with my Slayer stuff and my metal stuff, because that's where the bulk of the money has been put into as far as my collecting goes. Um, because a lot of this stuff from the metal section went through eBay, which means you got to pay more, which means that I need to take better care. But that's not to say that I don't treat uh, a 99-cent record any differently from one that I'd spent $100 on or more. Um, they're uh, all given the same care. It's just that this, as an example, this album on eBay is 40-50 bucks. I think I paid on the lower end of that, um, 40 to 44, I think, um, not including the shipping costs. Um, so they're pricier. I would say at least on my scale that'd be about the mid range. Because I've spent a lot more, on certain Slayer releases. I've spent a lot more. Um, so as far as I would say, this would be about a mid level as far as the money is concerned. Um, Other reason being, you can't find a whole lot of these, um, for a number of reasons. Collectability, numbers. they were pressed at, and so on and so forth. Um, so now to the actual record itself. Um, I would say this is pretty close to. Um, yeah, probably. I would give it a kind of VG plus plus, or um, that's probably about it. Maybe you could say that it's a near mint minus. I haven't played this yet. Um, a little bit of scuffing on side A. Um, yeah, a little bit more some light surface scratching and a couple, 2 or 3 smudges on the second side. Um, but I would imagine from the look of it, this would play um, without any skips, popping, anything like that. Um, Either way, um, it's nice to have just from a collector standpoint, um, and so that's really nice. Um, this is a lyrics sheet as well. There's the lyrics and pictures. Um, and this is probably the original what the record actually came in, and this is probably something that was added on. Maybe not. I don't know. I have a couple records that have both the paper sleeve and the plastic sleeve. Um, and that's really cool. Um, Now, this was actually the one of the this was the first release from them um, that I ever heard. I believe the first song I heard off of this was either Aerials or it was Chop Suey. I believe it was Aerials actually um, that I heard off this album back in the summer fall of '01, and heard it on the radio, um, and was immediately connected with it, and so it always stuck. But back then, um, I wasn't really into metal yet. I had just transitioned out of a lot of pop stuff, um, Britney Spears and Christina. I know, you know, uh, and I know you're all shutting this off right now. Um, but yeah, I was in a transitional period, and this was one of the first bands in a uh, heavy heavier rock, because I had a background of stuff like Clapton and George Thorogood and stuff like the REM, um, from a young age, basically at the age of like you know since I was a toddler, that kind of thing, because that was what my dad played. Um, but like I said, in a transition, this was one of the first albums I heard that got me into metal and heavier music, um, along with bands like Korn for a while, Godsmack, who I still listen to today. I don't like Korn anymore, um, because when I started getting even heavier than this, the Metallicas and so on and so forth, and definitely by the time I got into heavy thrash metal, death metal, Korn just doesn't measure up. But early bands like System, Godsmack, Korn, Linkin Park, P.O.D., And yeah, there's Disturb is the other one. And I've done a metal classics on the sickness, um, which I hope to have um, up at some point. But I've gotten really busy now. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I can't communicate and everything like I'd like to, and like I had been. Um, and I've got a bunch of stuff that I gotta put back up, so I'm kind of behind with that, and I don't like it, but that's the way it's got to be right now. Um, but yeah, I so that's that's a little bit on this album and uh, my history with it. Um, and as always, thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it because, as I've said before, I'm not usually one that has people paying attention to me, especially on music, since I'm like the only person that of my group of friends that listens to heavy rock and metal and anything like that. So it's really cool to be able to share with other people. Um, and if you'd like, uh, comment, send me questions, subscribe. Um, you can always. The invitation's always open to tell me to screw off and go off in the corner and just die. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, yeah, thanks to everybody for watching, and stay tuned for more. All right, bye.